Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Weekly Growth, or another video, excuse me. I recently came back from drill, so now I can come back and talk to you guys for a little bit, because there's this story that inspired me to talk about this. The story that the Lord put on for me to watch, so I can relay the message. And that message is, you're never too far gone to come back to Christ. What do I mean by that? Now, we all know we are sinners. We have sinned countless times now, and sometimes it might feel too much, and we sometimes slip up, and we do bad things in the Lord's eyes. We might think that it might be too late. We might think that what we did, it's too far for God to forgive you. For example, you could have been watching porn since you were a teenager and have been addicted to it for years and years, to the point where you feel like you're too far gone to follow Christ on that. Or maybe you have killed someone, you have hurt someone badly, you have cheated, you have lied, you have done all these stuff that you feel are too much for the Lord to forgive you for. And I'm here to tell you that no, it is never, ever too far to come back to Christ. Many Christians or followers of Christ, many followers of Christ are prime examples of that. One of the most prominent Bible characters in the Bible is Paul, who was formerly known as Saul. He persecuted and executed Christians. He lied, and he was very radical on his views. He chased down followers of Christ back then, and he would have them executed by the Romans. He would work with the Romans to find these followers of Christ and kill them. I'm not really sure if it's explicitly told how many he killed during that time, but it was a lot. And after an encounter with Christ and many trials, he came into faith, and he became arguably the most influential apostle in Christianity history. He is the one that wrote the most books in the Bible. He is the one that spread the good news the most out of any apostle, I'm pretty sure. He really went further beyond to share the good news of Christ. And this is the same guy that was killing and persecuting Christians. Isn't that crazy to think about? Jesus took a killer and made him into an apostle. He worked through Paul to make so many good things happen. And it all started with Jesus choosing a killer as one of his apostles. Isn't that crazy to think about? That is insane to think about. And that story goes for every single one of us. We may have done some very stupid, bad, and awful things in our past. But God tells us that it is never, ever, ever too far for you to come back to Him. He wants you to come back to Him. Every time you feel like you have done too much or I am not worthy, that is a lie from the enemy, from the devil, from Satan, to get you away from God. But God is telling you, hey, you messed up. You did. But I love you. I forgive you. Don't do that again. Come back to me. That's what He tells you. Pretty sure I've told this before, but I used to be addicted to porn. I was such a porn addict. It did not help me at all. It in fact worsened my health. It worsened my creativity, my work ethic. It got in the way of many, many things in my life. And when I came to Christ, it was still hard. It was so hard to let go of that addiction. But through Christ, I was able to let go of porn. And it was a big milestone for me to triumph over lust. I still struggle with lust and anger. Those are the two main sins that I struggle with, but I have faith on Christ that He will lead me and help me through those trials to strengthen me and not be that person I was before. And you have to put in the effort to, get away from those things, because God is going to put you in trials that are going to be like, okay, you want to let go of your anger? I'm going to put you in this situation where you would usually get angry. And I'm going to give you the choice to either listen to my word and not get angry, or you can go to your old ways and get angry. That's what He's going to do. So you must be patient, read the word of the Lord, pray to Him, and have faith. And that's what you got to do. And here's a most recent story that made me think of this video idea. It's from, I can't remember her name, but it was from an OnlyFans girl who would go into a podcast saying that one of her biggest fantasies is cheating on her partner. That she would cheat multiple times. She would have sex with multiple people, even though she was in a relationship. She would do OnlyFans, and she was all about the world. Many worldly and lustful desires. And very recently, actually, she turned to Christ and shared her experience of turning to Christ. And that put such a big smile in my face to see people like that, to see anybody that has done all these things like OnlyFans or crime or something like that, any bad thing that you can think of. It puts such a joy in me to see people like that turn to Christ and become followers of Christ. It's beautiful to see. It's very, very, very beautiful. God was with her at that moment. He was always with her, but now she fully embraced Him. And it was so beautiful to see. That video is so beautiful to see, to be honest. It was a wonderful moment. And that's why I'm here to tell you. If you're a sex worker, if you're an adult content creator like OnlyFans, or if you're a criminal that has stolen, that has lied, that has killed, that has assaulted people, if you have done many awful things, awful things, I urge you to come to Christ, and I guarantee you He's going to welcome you with open arms, and He will help you to become the person He wants you to be. And you will be filled with such peace and happiness in your life. Now, granted, your life is still going to be hard. There's still going to be those trials and tribulations. For example, with the OnlyFans girl that I mentioned, once she turned to Christ, she later on uploaded this video of her struggling through like real life situations. I'm not gonna get into it because that's like her personal stuff. So yeah, but she's going through like some very hard things in her life right now that she didn't used to go through back when she was into the worldly desires, because now she's with Christ. The devil is trying to get her away from Christ and back into those worldly desires. And God is using that as trials to help her and strengthen her in her faith to Him. That's what happens when you come to Christ. You are still gonna go through hard times, but the only difference is that you have the true living God by your side, and nothing is going to change that. He will be with you, and He will help you. He will hold you. He will love you. He will care for you. You are going to stumble again, and there are going to be consequences for that. But you must stand fast in your faith in Christ. Lean into His understanding. Fully rely on Him. And I promise you, the victory will come for you. And you're gonna glorify and thank God for everything that He has done for you. Thank you guys for listening. I love you all so much. Have a blessed day and or night. And I will see you all later. Goodbye.